Now, this is a show all about storytelling, right? And you're a great storyteller, but I get the sense that it kind of came to you naturally. But let me ask you a question: is that true? Have you practiced, how you tell this narrative thread? I mean, you got all the fundamental pieces, you've got all the building blocks, if you of making a great story. But because it's something I think I had a someone in the studio recently, Gene Munster, who's a big tech guru, follows tech companies around the world, et cetera. And he was saying that, what separates the good CEO from the great CEO, the good CEO is sitting on top of a great company with a great idea, market fit, all the things that they need, is that ability to weave that story and effectively communicate not only to investors, but to customers, to partners, to, whoever else they might impact as far as their stakeholders are concerned.
I'd say it's been developed for me, and I appreciate the compliment, but I think it was really hard in the beginning for me to tell the story because it was hard. Like, I didn't feel like I belonged in the beginning. Like, I remember the first time I went to a tech meetup and I was offered to speak in public. I was terrified. And it took me a long time to not question my story as being a perspective that needed to be in the room for me to openly share it. And so I feel like the more comfortable I've gotten with, all right, I have a contribution to the room, to the company, to the ecosystem that needs to be shared. The more I get comfortable with that, the more authentic I can be with my story, and the more fluid the story is able to be shared.
You needed more reps.
Exactly. Yeah. And I needed to know that it was needed, and that there are individuals that are going through maybe a subset, or they are going through their own journey that could benefit from hearing that you didn't have it all figured out. You didn't know what you were going to do. But along the way, that's the part of the story that people actually need to hear, not just we raised all this money and everything's working out well, because there's a ton of challenging moments along the way that actually make the success. And I think most people just want to skip to the success story when there's a whole bunch of things that I learned along the way to help me get here.